to my father because of this. I am a straight male. I will always be a straight male as far as I know. But when you said that the mental part, like that resonates with me because you believe you're something, right? Into your core, into your brain, into your being. You believe that. And when I look back in history, I love history. You look at shamans, human gods, fortune tellers, witches, cultures that had non-human ways of thinking. Nobody really discredits those people as not being who they are, you know? Granted, I do not believe in fortune telling. I do not believe in aliens, but I also don't believe that it's not possible. Now, I guess I have a question for you, and this is my biggest holdup with any trans type thing, is trauma and mental illness, because I don't care who you are. All 8 billion people on this earth have a mental illness. They have an internal struggle, an internal battle, depression, whatever. Do you feel...
I don't think that's true.
Well,
do you have a source to back that?
Well, I guess as far as I'm concerned, the human, because we have a conscience, has always had an internal struggle. I don't have a source that says, you know, all 8 billion people have an internal struggle. If anybody doesn't have an internal struggle, it's probably...
But an internal struggle is not inherently a mental illness.
No, absolutely not. But some people may consider it a mental illness. And what makes that incorrect if they think it is a mental illness? If I'm depressed...
There's criteria for something being a mental illness.
What's the criteria?
I don't know. I'm not a mental health professional, but there is criteria for it.
Right. But in my opinion, you know, mental illness is anything that causes distress within. And
that could be your football team losing.
Exactly. It can be.
That's not a mental illness.
It is if it affects you negatively. Because doctors will put you on medication just because you lost your boyfriend. My cousin was 13 years old who killed himself over
we gotta, first of all, when we're talking about those kind of things, we do need trigger warnings. Sure. And we also have to censor ourselves on TikTok.
Sure. But, you know, it was so sad to see an internal struggle inside of him that was diagnosed, and he lived a good life. He had a great family, everything. Why? Why is he gone? He had a mental illness. Just, it happens. You know, I have some trans friends, never thought I would, but I get upset. I do get upset when there's this huge push to accept this way of thinking when, why, if somebody has a different way of thinking, why do they have to change? Why does anybody have to change their way of thinking?
I'm not saying anyone has to change. What I'm saying is, why not? Why not accept trans people?
Well, because people like me, unfortunately, I separated myself from a place of, you know, sheltering of the world, basically. I mean, rural country growing up, like, if you even acted gay or homosexual or anything, good luck. You're chastised. You're done. Like, so there was people that, you know, that's why people couldn't come out of the closet. So this big push that's been going for the past few years is a good thing because the people that were suppressed can come out. But now when we push and push and push, I truly believe that people that are confused, are looking for a place to fit in.
What are you suggesting, that trans people are confused?
No, not trans people, but people.
So we are here specifically to talk about trans people.
Right. And so trans people, What, can you say one specific thing? Like, when did you realize? Were you 8 years old, 10 years old,
4-ish,
15?
around 4.
Okay, I don't even remember any memories from like before 8 years old. But, if you knew at a young age you were different, that's understandable because you are you and you are different. But why do we have to change? It's not like trans people are the majority. Why does everybody else have to change because trans people are screaming it? It's
What change are you worried about? What change are you hesitant to
probably
do?
my biggest concern would be for my children and of this next generation going down roads because of times in their lives where they struggle or trauma. Like, honestly,
You got to stop linking being transgender to trauma, please.
okay, but that is how I was taught by my trans friends how they got to where they are today. They all have trauma stories.
So first, for A, that's tokenizing. B, that's anecdotal. So
It's not
that's like a double whammy.
It's 100%. I'm talking about 3 people that I've met, but it's still 3 very resonating, stories.
They told you that they're trans because of trauma.
Basically, they became addicts. They became, very distraught in life, very lost,
and because they are addicts, they became transgender. Is that what you're saying?
No, it can be any sort of trauma that leads to it. Now, you can take 2 people.
The definition of transgender is that your sex assigned at birth and your gender identity don't align. I did receive a Cash App to kick, but I do have a kind of sort of 15-minute guideline, so we can continue this conversation for another 5, 6, 7 minutes. But our time here is limited.
Sure. But yeah, I guess, I still struggle with seeing this big push that this community has done, because you can actually hold a conversation with a straight male as long as they don't get violent. Like the young gentleman before me, he was very frustrated. He hasn't had time to learn what the world is about.
Okay.
That's fine. But all in all, it's still crazy to see this giant push. And I'm not offended by it, but I just cannot get past that hang up of mental illness and trauma. And nothing that anybody has said.
There is no data whatsoever that shows that transgender people are transgender because of trauma. There's none. Trust me, I've looked. You are off app. If you're talking, I cannot hear you.
There is information out there, but unfortunately, you can look up 10 different things on the internet and find conflicting stories. So unfortunately, a lot of these biased studies aren't great to go off of. I can only go off of the people that I've met, talked to.
Okay, so that's a problem. Relying on anecdotes over evidence is a problem.
But evidence straight from a source of a trans person. I mean...
Yeah, that's anecdotal. That's one person. In America alone, there are at least 1.6 million transgender people. So that one person's story is not going to be everyone's story. So what we need is actual studies that talk, that get information from more than just one of us. For instance, the 2022 transgender survey, which is expected to be fully released soon, they surveyed 90,000 trans people. 90,000. The 2015 transgender survey was 30,000, not one.
Right.
We're getting the story of large groups of people.
And I guess, those studies are a beautiful thing to see, but in the same essence, if every trans person is on the same page, they're not going to say that trauma was linked. That they're not going to give away their one thing. And
No, we're looking for real information. I don't need confirmation bias. I don't need studies to just confirm me. What I want is actual real information, and that's what we have. We have actual real data.
Sure, and I love that we have that ability as a human race to find out information. That's the greatest thing.
That's what studies do.
Yes, we have that power as a society to figure things out and the intelligence to do so. But when it gets, I can go straight into sports. I mean, that's one of the most disturbing things is when you have a biological...
We need to stick to one point at a time.
Sure. I mean,
sports is a whole different thing, and I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, it's something that really presses a lot of people, and I've never had to experience it in my era of sports, but if I was a woman and a man outdid me, it would upset me.
This is the problem. This is part of the reason that I didn't want to go into sports, because we're back to the topic of are trans women women? Because you said you just called trans women a man. K to the C. I'm going to honor the kick now. You have a good day.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you to the person who Venmo'd. I did leave a message to the person who Venmo'd me on Venmo. If they could check that message out and let me know what they would like to do, that would be awesome. We're going to move on to the next guest, guys. Unfortunately, because of the content moderation that I received earlier, we are shadow banned, so we're not going to make it onto the FYP, guys. So don't bother tapping. There's no point. We are shadow banned. We're not going to be on the FYP. Appreciate the efforts. We're just going to have to wait a little bit. All right, but we are going to bring up the next guest, though. Hello, Hannah. How you doing?
I'm back, bro. What's up?
I have no idea who you are.
What?
Yeah, I have no idea who you are.
Oh, it's Jonathan.
Oh, you have a good day.
Penis. You got...
Hello, Jack Page. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
What was the point of the screenshot?
What?
You just took a screenshot.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I did that.
Okay, no problem. How old are you, please?
22.
22. Fantastic. Am I a woman?
I would consider you a trans woman, but I don't know if I would put them in the same category. Do you know what I mean?
So what gender am I then?
Well, you tell me.
My gender is woman.
Yeah, and that's okay, and that's fine.
So,
do you know? If you know that, that's okay. But I would consider you. I would, refer to you how you wanted to be referred to. But I would say that there's big differences between the two. Do you know what I mean?
But between
the trans women and cis women.
Yeah, sure. There are differences between us, but we're both women. Just like there are differences between tall women and short women.
Yeah, what the previous guy was saying about sports and stuff, and how if someone's a male, they would be better at sports than females would. I feel like that's where you differ between being women and trans women, because you, for example, if you were in sports, I don't know your athletic abilities, but
I struggle to walk to the door.
Yeah, well, I don't and it's not me saying, oh, you shouldn't be in sports or whatever, but I just feel there needs to be more consideration, like, because Leah Thomas, for example, like I wouldn't consider like Leah like a woman, because like she doesn't even like present as such. So I just feel like in those
Leah Thomas
instances,
doesn't present as a woman. What does a woman present like then?
well, you know, someone with like female like characteristics, like, because you, for like example, have female characteristics, whereas Leah Thomas, like to me, Leah Thomas just looks like a fully grown like man. So it's like, how am I supposed to look at Leah? Well, well, I'm not saying that Leah looks bad. I'm just saying that, like, to me, Leah just looks completely like a man intact.
When I look at Leah Thomas, I see a woman.
Well, if I looked at Leah Thomas and I didn't know who she was, I would just assume that she's a man, because no.
Does your
because,
assumption
like,
make her a man?
well, not necessarily, not necessarily, but it's like if I was to see her in the street, I would just assume, oh, I would just call her he, because I would, you know what I mean? When people see me in the street, they call me he, because that's what I am.
Okay, it seems to me like you just want to talk about appearances, which I think is kind of rude. Some women look more masculine, some women look more feminine. Oh well, who cares? That doesn't validate whether or not they're a woman.
It's not so much that. It's just like, when you look at like Leah Thomas, like in the swim team, like amongst all the other girls.
Why are we talking about how Leah Thomas looks? The topic is I am a woman, not Leah Thomas is a woman. Leah Thomas is a woman, but that's not the topic.
No, I don't. I'm not. I didn't. When I said that, I didn't mean like what she looks like appearance wise. It's like, if you were to go to like a sports arena and see Leah with a bunch of like girls like competing in the team, like from an outside perspective, you know, people would just be like, well, why is there a man competing against all those girls? And it's not that I have a problem with like trans women being with women in sports, but it's like, okay, Leah, like,
the topic's not sports. The topic is I am a woman, prove me wrong. What gender am I?
Well, you tell me you're female, so that's your gender.
I want to know your opinion on what gender I am.
Well, me personally, I would refer to you as she.
Fantastic. Awesome. Am I a woman?
I would say you're a trans woman.
But what gender am I? Trans woman's not a gender.
Well, if you're well, woman, then if that's what you identify as, then that is your gender, because you can legally change your gender. So
I'm not looking for an appeal to legality here. I don't. I just want to know what gender I am. I don't care what the law says I am. Right now, the law says that I am male, and I don't care what the law says. I want to know if you think that I am a woman. That is the question here.
Well, like, I do have one of my friends is trans, and like I think that she's a woman, and yeah, so I don't really like know you personally. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard. It's weird to explain. It's not that I don't like see you as a woman. It's like, if I was to see you on the street, like at first glance, I wouldn't think that you're a woman. Do you know what I mean? But if I was
curious,
to like
how many
know you,
how many men with my build have you seen with D-cup breasts?
Well, that's what I mean. On like first glance, I'd probably have to take a double take to realize.
Guy, the point that I'm trying to make here is that there isn't a way to look like a man or a woman. There's no right way to look like one. Some men look like women. Some women look like men. That's not the question. The question is, am I a woman? Can we get an answer without being around the bush?
Well, yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's the end of the conversation then. I am a woman. Trans men are men. Trans women are women. Non-binary identities are valid.
I had a really good question, but I don't.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was. So, for example, it's like, say, so obviously you say like the trans women are women and trans men are men. That's fair enough. But it's like if like a lot, I think like a lot of the trans thing kind of changes like sexualities quite a lot, because it's like if like a biological female was to be like a trans man and say, oh, I'm a trans man and I like guys, and that would make them gay. But like if they didn't appear like a man like whatsoever, and they were to fancy like a gay man, like, and that gay man like that person back, he wouldn't really be gay anymore if he was going out with like a biological female that looks like a biological. But it's not that I'm obsessed with presentation. It's just like the realisticness of it all. You know what I mean?
Are there men that look like women?
Yeah.
But they're still men. Can those men that look like women be gay?
Yeah.
And can men who are gay be attracted to gay men who look like women?
Yeah, but...
Yes, and they're still gay. That doesn't invalidate their gayness.
Yeah, but it's like me, for example, like I'm gay, and if I was to date like a biological like female, and they're completely presented like female but didn't identify as such, that like say they identified as a man, like I wouldn't really be gay anymore, would I? Because it's
no, you would be attracted to a man. That would be a man relationship. That would be a gay relationship.
But it's like, but I'm with someone who's still fully intact and presents as female, and gay men don't like females.
Preference is valid.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
So if a man does not have the parts that you want, you're okay. You're good. But the fact you may be attracted to a man that doesn't have the parts that you want up until the moment that you find out that they don't. You would still be gay. That would not invalidate you just because you find someone attractive that happens to have a vagina.
Oh, well, no, I know that.
Sexuality doesn't change here.
No, like I know that, but it's like if it's kind of hard to believe like that if like someone like it's weird to explain. Like it's like say you have like a biological male who like looks completely male but like says he's a woman, and there was a straight guy like to date him, like he wouldn't really be straight because straight men like females, not males. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I'm not like if a straight male is with like a trans woman.
Why did you tell me that trans women are women if you don't believe that trans women are women?
No, I do, but it's like.
But now you're trying to. Okay, so a gay man is a man that's attracted to other men. A lesbian is a woman who's attracted to other women, right? That's the gist of it, right?
Yeah. So
if I am a woman and a lesbian is attracted to me, she is a woman attracted to another woman.
Yeah, because yeah, but like if you hadn't transitioned though, I like, and she was attracted to you, like that wouldn't be really like lesbianism, would it?
Jack, just say you know what I'm trying to say? That trans women are women. Just say it.
No, I do. That's why I just said.
Don't. Because if you did, then you would understand that lesbians who are attracted to me are women.
Yeah, I agree with that. I said if you hadn't like transitioned ever, like but identified as such, and a lesbian found you like attractive, like she wouldn't be lesbian. But because you've actually transitioned, you can be a lesbian. You know what I mean? Because
you're tying our gender identities to our genitalia. You're saying that in order for me to be a woman, I have to have had the surgery. I was a woman before I had the surgery. And transgender women who don't get the surgery for whatever reason are still women. And it's okay. Like if a transgender lesbian happens to have a penis and a cisgender lesbian doesn't want to date someone with a penis, that's okay. It is. It's okay. but that doesn't invalidate either person's identity. A cisgender lesbian who is attracted to transgender lesbians that have penises are still lesbians.
Yeah, that's the only thing I mean. Like, I just when it comes down to that, that's where it confuses me.
So you're attaching gender to genitalia.
Well, yeah, because like over the years and like sort of like from the beginning of time, that's sort of how it's worked.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that last bit.
Like from like the beginning of time and like over the years, that's kind of how it like works.
If you're a cisgender lesbian in chat and you are attracted to me, raise your hand. Say hi.
But I'm not saying that's invalid though. That's still valid. Like that's still
Okay,
like
okay. Let me rephrase the question. If you are a cisgender lesbian and you are attracted to transgender lesbians who have penises, say hi. I'm gonna rephrase. If you are a cisgender lesbian who is okay dating a lesbian with a penis, say hi. All the answers I'm getting down there are valid. There are lesbians in chat that are saying that yes, they would date a woman with a penis. There are also lesbians in chat that are saying no, they wouldn't. Both of those answers are valid. Both are equally lesbian.
yeah, it's like that those are valid, but there is people like in your community that would say that like genital preferences are like transphobic.
Yes, and I disagree with them.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing that I was getting at. That is literally what, you know what I mean? Like, that's because people can do what they want. Do you know what I mean? But that's just what it boils down to. It's like, that's where I don't understand it, you know?
Jack Page, my DoorDash is about to arrive, and I'm going to eat it in private. So
Okay.
Thank you for coming up. Appreciate
Thank you.
You have a good day. Thank you everyone for coming today. Unfortunately, because of the warning that I got shadow banned. So I'm going to end now for the night. I don't know if I'm going to come back on Tomb Raider or not. I might not. I don't know. Thank you everyone for watching. Appreciate you all. If you enjoyed this, hit that red follow button right up top. I will see you guys some other time. I don't know when, because I'm temporarily getting rid of the schedule. The schedule will come back. It will likely be different than it was before. But for now, goodbye schedule. Good night, everyone.